Kahana is the CEO of a logistics firm called Global Delivery Company, and he's pitching his services to get aid into Gaza, where he hopes to get rich off the further immiseration of the Palestinian people. According to Enet News, the Israeli government is considering GDC's proposal, which entails walling off parts of Gaza and establishing high-tech checkpoints that only cleared people can enter and leave through. This is how the outlet described it. Quote, GDC's plan is to establish humanitarian bubbles in Gaza. The IDF will be tasked with cleaning every such bubble from terrorists and erecting a separation wall within 48 hours. Entry to these compounds will be prohibited, except for residents who live in the neighborhood, who will receive authorization through biometric identification. That sounds a lot like a concentration camp. Kahana has also been in contact with the U.S. government about taking over aid delivery in Gaza and gave a price for his services, telling Enet News, quote, "We told the Americans, you spent $350 million building a port that sank at sea after 8 weeks. We gave the Americans a discount, $200 million for 6 months, and it won't drown." In a post on Twitter following the Israeli military targeting and killing World Central Kitchen workers back in April in Gaza, Kahana summed up his idea like this, quote, "Gaza, only gated community with biometric, no one comes in. Nobody goes out without checked. Civilians will get help and humanitarian supplies. Terrorists will get a bullet." Yeah, sounds like a real humanitarian there. Dropsite did a deeper dive into Kahana's plans. It reported that Kahana routinely pitches his company as a, quote, Uber for war zones, and that he's already worked in areas torn by U.S. war-making, including Iraq and Afghanistan. He told the outlet that his walled biometric surveillance state would be, quote, similar to Miami without a golf course and swimming pool. It won't be a ghetto. My shirt that says I'm not planning to turn Gaza into a ghetto sure has people asking a lot of questions. Part of what's so sinister about Kahana's approach, besides somehow making life even worse for Palestinians than it was pre-October 7th, is that it pushes a lie about why humanitarian aid has failed to reach Gazans. Kahana claims it's necessary to create these militarized checkpoints and bubbles in order to prevent Hamas from stealing the aid, the claim often repeated by Israeli officials. The company said in a statement this week, quote, "The goal is to enable humanitarian organizations to deliver large amounts of humanitarian assistance to needy Gazans without the threat of having Hamas or others divert or steal the assistance and sell it for profit on the black market." Thing is, though, there's no evidence that this is a widespread problem or the reason why Gazans are starving. Even U.S. government officials have admitted that. Hamas isn't stealing the aid. Israel is just not letting it into Gaza and really never has at a sufficient level for the entirety of this war because it's conducting a fucking siege. As military leaders have repeatedly said out in the public again and again. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant a year ago, quote, "I have ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed." So there is no need for Kahana's services in Gaza if Israel simply complied with international law and let in the dang aid. But since that's not happening, then this dipshit is probably going to get a couple $100 million to basically upgrade the security in Gaza's open-air prison, under the guise of delivering aid, of course. Kahana, by the way, is a huge supporter of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Take what you want from that information. Dropsite News also reported that a former employee of Kahana's is Stuart Seldowitz, who, for those who don't remember, is that guy in New York City last year who went on a racist rant berating a food truck operator. Kahana told Dropsite that Seldowitz is still a friend. Also a friend of Kahana's is Eric Prince, the mercenary kingpin whose private security firm Blackwater was infamous for a massacre in Iraq. A successor to Blackwater, a defense contractor called Constellas, is a co-partner in Kahana's plan for Gaza, providing the armed security services for the trucks and checkpoints. So Kahana, Seldowitz, Prince, all buds. If only we could get them all in one location together, acquire the coordinates, and launch a massive... What? Wait. Being told by the show's lawyers that I should not finish that sentence. What I meant to say is, if we could get them all together in one spot, then we could really give them all a piece of our mind. That's it. That's all I meant. Until then, Mordecai Kahana is flying solo as this week's Rich Dick. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.